Okay, that's good. This is kind of interesting. That's underneath the cabin door. So the water, I believe, is traveling along the outside edge of the door, but as it comes down here, this screw was loose and it runs right in there. If the water could run in between here and somehow get into the floor at this point, I just have to try and test it. Okay, so we're gonna put some silicone in here. Okay, we'll put the screw back in, a little tighter. What I don't like, this. Why is this seam for the frame of this door not at the bottom? Okay, they have a cushioned seal in here. It's compressed more on the top than it is on the sides, but I'm just going to run a bead around this of silicone. These are for caulking, and I'm going to use this. The edges are different. I'm going to go with the number 10 taper. I have done the silicone all the way around to the other side. I only go a little ways down, so I might have to dial in a little bit on this little piece here because it's connected to the door. See a screw there that deforms the seal and creates entry paths for water. This is where the screw is. So I have the bead up top, and you can see I've actually tested it a little bit, but the bead along the adjoining edge covered up that screw on both sides, the adjoining edge as well. So I'm just gonna start to water this, run it for a little while because I want to be sure it's done and if it's gonna really make the difference. And I might even have my wife come out again and spray while I get inside the cabin. Look at this. It's coming in through this door lock. So this is one of the sources of leaking water, but we have definitely solved a problem with this bead of silicone. And I don't know if it was this bead or if it was this bead along the edge and covering up that screw. So I'm going to take this handle off and just see what it is that they do, if they use any kind of butyl or anything like that to seal this door latch. And there is a foam around this. Like I said, maybe it is sufficient if the screws compress it sufficient. So we're going to put this back on and use some Loctite for the screws, mounting screws. So this is the Loctite that I use. It's blue, and you can see that it says 242 removable. Helps the threads fasten better and hold, but it is breakable with hand with a screwdriver if you put enough torque on the head of the screw. So one thing I did notice before I put this bead on here, this seal right here, this cushioned seal right here was really tight up top, and I think you can notice it actually. It gets really thick down the bottom, like noticeably thick. So it's not compressed on the bottom. And look, it's really easy to pull this away a little bit because it's not compressed. So in other words, the door is pitched. It's tight up top and loose down bottom, and so it's pitched out at the bottom. And I'm collecting water at the bottom of this door. This screw and trim underneath the door frame might be what caused the door to be pitched. So this seal remains damp. You can see that with water because this thing is pitched wrong. This can't run over the lip. It will inevitably run over the lip. But what I'm going to do, instead of reconstructing the door in its installation and seeing all this water getting in behind this seal, I'm going to seal this off with a bead of silicone. And I believe that will put it above the height of this ridge here, so that the water will inevitably rise high enough and even be like saturated into the seal. It'll eventually dry off and seal off without causing damage to this door. So I'm just scraping off by dragging this along the flat edge of the metal trim and leaving the part that's covering the access point. Praise God, it's right. I just want to check and see if the water drips from the bottom of this door when I open it. If it does not drip, that means there's no water collecting behind the trim on the bottom of the door. Okay, and we're not having water drip down anymore. So there used to be long drips. That was because it was collecting underneath. There used to be long drips along this board when I would open it after washing it, after watering it, because the water would have collected underneath this edge here. But now it's sealed off. So we're not getting water beads dripping down the door when we open it. So this is a done deal. This job is finished, thank God, and the rig is protected. If these videos are useful to you, any of those on my channel, or this one in particular, we would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe.